it off my chest.
House of Horrors.
Yeah, that was fucking terrible, dude. The Cowboys looked awful. Like
It's
they looked all right. They could not stop the run. They could not stop the run whatsoever. You're up 28-14 on a team in the fourth quarter, which by the way, they were 195-0 in that situation. Not anymore. Uh
it's the
yeah,
Cowboys at Lambeau, man.
you're up
Cowboys
28
at
to
Lambeau.
14 in the fourth quarter and they're still running the ball on you.
Yeah,
You know what that means? That means you are terrible at stopping the run and it was bad, dude.
Aaron Rodgers
Now,
only threw 20 passes.
and guess what? We're playing against one of the worst rushing defenses, and Tony Pollard was averaging like over 5 yards a carry. Why were we still trying to pass the ball on
Yeah,
third and fourth down in overtime? That doesn't make any sense to me.
doesn't seem like a game where Dak should have thrown the ball 46 times.
No, it literally like we should have had the exact same game plan as Green Bay. If you flip the game plan, we probably win that game because
You
neither
think the
team,
Cowboys miss Zeke in this game?
to a degree, I do.
Because Zeke is somebody you can throw in there as a batting ram at the end of a game to close it out.
Definitely, and that would have helped out a lot. However,
Because
it
Pollard
wasn't
had
like
go
Pollard
ahead.
had a lot of touches. He did have a lot of touches, and they did just have that whole thing come out about him not being able to have a ton of touches and getting tired and all that, which I understand. But
Because
when you're that
he's
late in
never
the
been a
game,
workhorse.
well then throw who was that? Who was Malik Davis? Was that the backup?
I have no idea.
Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, Malik Davis, dude. He was even playing pretty well. He averaged 7.6 yards a carry. He had 5 carries for 38 yards. Tony had 22 carries for 115 yards, averaged 5.2. Right before that, before the third down, it was like three straight runs of 7, 9, and 9. Now, the two 9-yard runs both got called back by penalties, but still, give it to Tony Pollard again. Why not? If not, give it to Malik Davis. Don't drop back and try and throw a 40 a 25-yard pass when you need 3 yards. That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense to me.
I I think the game was lost in the second quarter with Dak throwing the interceptions.
Dude, the interception
Because
on the goal line was
the game could have
so
been
bad.
over. Like the game could have been over at halftime
I agree. We
if
could
he doesn't throw those interceptions.
Yep.
That like you said, that one at the goal line, both were picked by Ford, right?
Yes, both were picked by Ford, but the one at the goal line was just
That was bad.
miscommunication all over the place. Like
Yeah.
miscommunication on both receivers or
Yeah, you had two
Schultz and,
guys.
and CD Lamb.
You had two guys run to the same spot, so one guy could have covered both of them.
Exactly. And so you left another guy wide open to just eye the quarterback and catch the ball, which is exactly what happened.
Yep.
So that was very, very poor. Now I will say Dak, yeah, he had a rough game. He really wasn't that bad. He really wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Considering the hard part is we just came off a bye. Like we just came off a bye. Y'all had plenty of time to prepare for this.
Right.
Plenty of time to prepare for a Green Bay team that has looked awful, awful. Now I will say, after every loss, the season's over, and after every win, we're winning the Super Bowl. That's football. That's how the
Yep.
NFL works. We're still 6-3. So as much as I want to be upset and not happy, we're still
At,
6-3.
at the end of the
Philly's
day,
looking like
you
they
could still
might
lose four
lose.
more.
I mean,
With the way the NFL,
technically.
with the way the NFC is going right now, you could lose four more games the rest of the season to still make it.
Yeah,
You
no, you're
really
not
can.
wrong. No, you're definitely right because there's some people saying that even 10 wins could get us
Because
into the playoffs.
right when
So,
you lose four more, that gets you to 10 games, 10 wins. They're 6-3.
okay, yep.
But
Okay, yep.
um, because you know who the first team out right now is. You know who the eighth team in the NFC is.
Is it Green Bay or
It's Green
Washington?
Bay.
Yeah, it's Green Bay.
It's
Yeah.
Green Bay. They're 4-5. They're the first team out right now.
Yeah, so it's definitely but we can't. We can't even talk about that. We should at least be go like 12-5. We should at least be 12-5. That should have been one of the wins though. Now we have to deal with Kirk Thuggins, Kirk O'Chains, whatever you want to call them in Minnesota.
Yeah.
They are balling right now.
Speaking of Minnesota,
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that one because that was really the biggest game. That was the best game, maybe possibly of the year so far.
I've seen a lot of people saying that. Yeah.
It was so much fun to watch. Justin Jefferson is definitely by far, I'm sorry, anybody, wide receiver one in the NFL. He is. He's the best wide receiver in the NFL right now. And I don't think he can be touched. Cooper Cup still does what Cooper Cup does, but Cooper Cup ain't doing what Justin Jefferson just did. Those catches that Justin
Yeah.
Jefferson just made, not a single other person in the NFL is making those catches. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. You
DeAndre
can,
Hopkins just popped in my head. Maybe DeAndre
well,
Hopkins because he's made some sick catches like that. But
like
dude,
I think the only receivers with potentially an argument against Justin Jefferson being number one would be Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. I think those are the
I,
only two that have an argument.
let me throw one more out there, kind of sneaky. AJ Brown. AJ Brown's actually pretty damn dude.
AJ Brown's had a
He's
big
up there
season.
too. He's up there
Yeah.
too. So
Trust me, I
no,
have some AJ Brown love. All
I'm
right.
yes.
he's he's on my
But no,
fantasy team,
what
and I'm
Justin Jefferson did was absolutely ridiculous. 10 catches for 193 yards and a touchdown, which is bonkers in itself. But when you go see that catch on 4th and 18, where he literally was at the high point that he could be at, reaching backwards and basically just takes the ball out of the defender's hands, that was insane. It was absolutely insane. And the way they
it's
went to the
impressive.
ground and the way he was able to hold on to the ball, man, I bet Kirk Cousins is lucky. He is so lucky right now that he has Justin Jefferson on his team, or they would
Yeah.
not be 8-1. Now he has had a couple duds. I will say Justin Jefferson has had a
Yeah, but
couple
he's had a
games
couple
where
of monster
exactly
games.
193 yards, dude. Like what? That's ridiculous.
Like I think he
But
has 3 games this year where he's gone for over 150.
I think you're right, and that's
Because
that's
I
just
know he did that week one
insane.
against Green Bay, where they just couldn't cover him like at all. Just couldn't, had no chance.
Now let's talk about the fact that it was 27-10 Buffalo in the third quarter. So not only in the third quarter, but with a minute and 51 left in the third quarter was when Buffalo hit their field goal to go up 27-10. That is, I mean, obviously it's not 28-3, but damn, it's close. And
Yeah,
against Buffalo, everyone's Super Bowl favorite of the season. Obviously, Josh Allen had a little something funky with his elbow, but still, he was able to throw. He was slinging the ball too. So
yeah. I mean, it helps when you have an 81-yard run for a touchdown.
yeah,
When you can score that quickly, that gives you enough time
that's
to
definitely
kind of
true.
put some stuff together.
Dalvin Cook is a beast. He definitely
I mean, it was only 27-10 for 17 seconds.
true. And then it became 27-17 real quick. That is true. And that's all thanks to Dalvin Cook and that monstrous run that he had. But dude, Minnesota, I mean, are they for real?
Yeah, they're for real.
Yeah, they're for real. I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I already said it at the beginning of the season that they were going to win the division, and now I don't see how they could lose the division unless
Unless they
catastrophic failure.
completely, yeah, unless they, unless they inject a little bit of Dante Culpepper's Vikings into this team's veins, because I'm pretty sure that Dante Culpepper team and Randy Moss team could probably still finish 8-8, even though there's 17 games instead of. I'm pretty sure they could still go 8-8 at this point
That's
if
funny.
that was this team. Because I think one of those years they started out 6-0 and finished the season at 8-8. But anyway,
So we, so I do agree that they're for real, but which, by the way, I just got a Bleacher Report update about the Dolphins being able to, the 1972 Dolphins being okay. Philly's losing to Washington. Philly's about to lose to Washington.
yep, it's
Wow.
division games, man.
Yeah. No, I this was my one of my sneaky upsets of the week just because it's division game, prime time. Washington actually looked decent. with Taylor Heineke behind or under center. So I'm not too surprised by this, but still, it is still pretty crazy. But anyways, I gotta finish up on this Buffalo Minnesota game. Josh Allen still looked great. 29 of 43 for 330 yards and a touchdown. However, he did have two picks, and both of them looked pretty bad. One of them, it looked like he straight threw it right to the defense.
Yeah,
But
those
the
those
ending,
could become a problem.
they could, but I think he's going to work on that, and they've got plenty of time to figure that out. I'm not worried about Buffalo
Yeah,
at
of
all.
course he's not 100% healthy right now too. So
True,
that needs to be thrown out there.
but we've also got to remember that Buffalo won that game. It was one, and they stopped Kirk Cousins on the goal line, and then fumbled the snap, and Minnesota recovers it in the end zone
Yep.
to go up by 3, which you thought was game. I mean, in today's NFL, obviously you don't know for sure, but with less than a minute left, it's not easy. And Josh Allen's able to get down there into field goal range, kick a field goal, tie it up. They go to overtime, and then overtime wasn't it? Didn't Buffalo get it first, and then they didn't score,
No,
and then
Minnesota got the ball, went down 12 plays, 60 yards, took up 6 minutes and got a field goal. And then Buffalo.
oh yeah, and it ended on that. That was the second pick. That was
Yep.
the bad one. Yeah, that one was rough. In a
Yeah.
terrible spot.
It was almost Brett Favreian.
I can feel that. Trying too hard at the end, trying to
Yeah.
play a little bit of hero ball and tried too hard, tried to squeeze it in too tight of a window.
Which, I mean, you live with that. You live with that because if he can, if he does something crazy and he completes it, same thing with Mahomes, same thing with Favre back in the day, Romo, like these guys that, they're going to take some chances. They're going to be right more often than they're wrong.
But
And you just
sometimes
have
when
to
they're
live
wrong,
with,
it's gonna
you
be
just have to
bad.
live with the fact that sometimes when they get it wrong, it's going to get really wrong and it's going to look really bad.
Yep.
And you just have to accept it. Sometimes you're going to lose because of that.
Yep. I